Hey lovelies, it is time to talk about the Sephora VIB sale, the Sephora Savings Event, whatever they're calling it this year, but you know, the time where we start perusing the Sephora site, deciding what we want to snag and get a deal on. So today I am going to be sharing with you my suggestions for the sale and also the things that I have on my wish list. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on my channel I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. So today we're just gonna chat about a few of the things that I love and I would recommend to you, and a few of the things that I think I may love. And if you have any recommendations for me, drop them down below. All right, let's get into this. So I don't think I'm gonna do this in any particular order because I've just sort of like added things to my loves list, added things to my cart to get ready for the sale. And you know how Sephora all of a sudden just like decides to like move that stuff around. So it's not exactly in an orderly fashion, but that's okay. We'll just kind of bebop around. It's not a big deal. So I do wanna start off with something that I actually picked up in the friends and family sale and I hadn't used yet, and I wanted to give you my thoughts on it. And that of course is this year's Hourglass Edit Unlocked palette. So I did pick up the Tiger palette. This is, I would say this is the one that is catered more to the deepest skin tones, but you know that it was this orangey shade and this coppery shade that drew me in. So I have to say I have really been enjoying this palette. There are certain pros and cons to it, but I really do think that it is a pretty one. I do want to say right off the bat though, I'm just going to throw it out there that if you are not at least the depth of my skin tone or deeper, I don't recommend this palette. I knew that these were going to be super saturated, but I also find that they are quite shimmery on the skin. And you know, Hourglass obviously has some sheen to it. You have that like luminous, beautiful ambient powder in there, but these I find are even more sheeny than what I have come to expect. And I think that's just because the saturation of tone of these. Now, the one positive about that is for me, this will also be a palette that I can use for eyeshadows because I think it has like just enough kick in the pants for me that in a pinch, I could just use this one palette. However, the one thing is I was hoping to be able to use this deep shade that's actually meant to be a finishing powder. I was hoping to use it as a bronzer. And the only thing is that on my skin tone, I don't know if you can tell here, this has a little bit more of almost like a rosy pink tone to it. So for me, this is actually more like a bronzer, and I can't really use it to like get the warmth that I'm used to being able to get with a bronzer because I find that it just has that little bit like rosier undertone. So what I'll probably usually use this for is just almost like a bronzer topper, just to get like a little bit more sheen out of it, you know, to kind of like feel that glow. Now, again, I've really had to use a light hand with most of these on my cheeks. I'm definitely getting away from like the super shiny metallic look. And so I find that if I use one of these as a blush, and if I were trying to go in and use like a highlight, it's just too much. It is just too much. So I'm usually finding that I'm using these sparingly, but I do love the colors. So I have no regrets for purchasing this. I do think that, you know, obviously the packaging is pretty. The colors inside are beautiful. I think I'll definitely pull this out more when I'm like at my most tan in the summer, but it has been really fun to have a different edit palette in my collection because I do have 2 or 3 others that has completely different shades than what I have. So no regrets here, but I'm glad I got it for 20% off. All right, so let's talk about the other palette that I'm going to be recommending for this sale. This is the only eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be choosing for this recommendation video, and that is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 palette. I've just loved this palette so much. And I have to say, I'm sorry, when I sat down today, I had full intention of using the things that I was going to be talking about in this video, and I just got drawn into my Shop My Stash and a few other things I saw sitting here. I saw my Petite Dark Mattes palette from Viseart, and I was like, oh, I haven't used that yet. I'm gonna use that today. So it's that and Davina on my eyes, but I do really love this palette. I've done several looks with it here and on my Instagram, so you've definitely seen it before, but it is just so pretty. It is just that palette that I know that I can pull out and create a beautiful look with every time. The mattes are very creamy, very blendable, and the shimmers have a beautiful dimension to them. It was, you know, understandable why this is the Major Dimension palette, but it has like a little bit more fleck without being too sparkly. And of course, having the cream bases also gives you a lot of options. So I do love this one. So right away, this was the one that I knew that I was going to be recommending. I think that this just has such a beautiful color story, and it's really relevant like all year round. So it's not that palette that you're going to be like, ooh, fall palette, and then like not use it ever again, you know, until the next fall. Like, I think that this just can really carry you through the year. Although it's makeup, you can wear whatever the heck, whenever you want. But, you know, we just tend to like go to certain color stories sometimes. So I'll be honest, I was considering putting in the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. However, I did do comparisons to some of the shades that are in here, And you know it's the shimmers for me. I like the shimmers in this palette better than the ones in the Natasha Denona. So I also think that these mattes, you know, because you don't have that like creamy matte formula that can be sometimes a little bit difficult for especially like newer eyeshadow users to wear. This one is just, it's just an easier, like, it's just an easier palette. Like, if you haven't had your coffee, you're gonna have a better time with this one than the Natasha Denona, in my opinion. And so this is the one that I picked. That's not to say that I don't really like the Natasha Denona one. If you do wanna see all my thoughts on it, I will make sure to have my full review video with tons of comparisons that I did. You wanna check your collection before you spend your dollars on that one. Okay, here is another thing that I hauled recently from the Friends and Family sale, and I think I talk about this like pretty much in every Sephora recommendations video, the Slip Silk Scrunchie. So you have a wide variety of different things to pick from. You have small sets, big sets. This is obviously the large size, and this is their smaller size. I actually just saw, so I got the one that had like a burgundy and a black and some other little ones, and now I see that they have one that has a black and a leopard. So I'm gonna put that one up here. It's $55 for 2 large ones, and it looks like 5 of the small ones. So I picked up that kit before because I know that I'm probably gonna throw a little bit into Christmas gifts. I love these because they reduce the friction on hair. So usually if I'm, you know, bebopping around the house and I just want my hair like out of my face, I'll just throw it up in a messy bun with this guy. But these, I mean, these stay in for yoga class. Like I can use them, I don't know, not that I run, but if you're a runner, this might not be like enough. But I just love these. I love these because they don't put a ton of tension on the hair, and when you pull them out, you're not, again, putting all of that friction on your hair. And if your hair rubs up against this, it's just a little bit more gentle. So I recommend them to my clients at the salon, and I'm also recommending them to you. Let's talk mascara. I have to say, I have really fallen in love with the ATHR 28 Make Waves mascara. I don't have it here because I'm still all in my suitcase from my last travels, and I did take it with me, but I'm really enjoying it. I did do a trying new makeup video where I put it on, and it's like, I really like this, but like I've just fallen in love with it. And you know, sometimes you just have to like get a few uses out of a mascara, like have it open for a little bit. You know how that goes. You got to find that sweet spot. And this one is great. And it's $20 at full price. And I think, you know, for a Sephora brand, that's actually a pretty good deal. I mean, like right now you can find some mascaras in the $30+ range. So I think that this is a good deal. I've really enjoyed it. I think it's that perfect mix between stretched out, long defined lashes, but also adds a little bit of volume, and it's really easy to get off at the end of the day, which is important to me. Another product that I had in my recent haul video was the Gimme Brow Volumizing Brow Pencil, of course from Benefit, and I have to say, I am really loving that brow pencil. There's just something about it. It's really easy to use. It really is that like fine line between a pencil and a powder. It has a beautiful like soft matte effect on the brow. It's really easy to use. It's really easy to blend out. I'm really enjoying it. I actually have the Precisely My Brow in today because again, that one's in my travel bag, the volumizing one, but I really do enjoy it. I think it just gives a slightly softer effect to the brow. I think, yeah, I feel like the Precisely My Brow, it's not sheeny, but it's not quite as matte as what the Gimme Brow is. And there's just something that like I like about that. A lot of times I'll go through and use that pencil, and then if I want to add a little more dimension and like have it look like there are more hairs, I'll just go through with like a fine tipped brow pen and then just like pop in a couple hairs. So I really do like that one if you're looking for a new brow pencil to try and you want something, you know, it's a regular sharpenable pencil, so you're not going to get as delicate of lines as you will with like something that's a very, very fine tip. But there are a lot of days where I'm just like, I just want a soft look and I just want to get out the door. I have one lip product that I'm going to recommend to you, and it is from Haus Labs, and it's not the Atomic Lip Shaker, which I do like those. I just think that there's a very specific group of people that will like those, and they're all out of stock right now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it is the PhD Hybrid Lip Oil. These lip oils are so, so nice. I can't believe I don't have one sitting here. That was bad preparation on my part, but it's because I have one at the salon at all times. I have one in my car at all times. I have one in my purse at all times. I really do love these. I think that they just have the perfect texture. They're slightly thicker, but not sticky, and they just really help nourish the lips. They have a beautiful slight tint to them. I did see that they finally added the 4th color back into the mix since the rebrand. I love all of the shades. Truly, I love all of the shades. You could go with the clear if you really just want something to like have as almost like a lip balm, and you could also do any of the shades. I think every shade will look beautiful on everyone. I have to say that secondary, the orange shade, is probably my go-to just because I tend to wear warmer makeup. I really think that all of the shades are very beautiful, but I do think that that hue shade or even primary are great for this time of year because you've got like a little bit more of that like flush on the lips. They're so pretty, they're so hydrating. These are now what I grab anytime I feel like my lips are getting a bit dry, but it's also something that I'll grab if I need like a lip look very quickly. You know, just something that makes me look a little bit put together, but isn't fussy. I love these so much. So if you haven't tried one out, now is the time. They are fantastic. And I do have to say, I actually had one of the Dior lip oils on my wish list to try, but my dear friend Aileen from ATHR Beauty actually sent one in the birthday gift that she sent me. Very generous. I was very excited to try it, but right when I put it on, I was like, oh, this reminds me of the Haus Labs, like quite a lot. I do think that the Dior has a little bit more of that whole like coloring your lips thing, you know, where you like put it on and then it gets a little bit more colorful. I feel like the Dior is a bit stronger, but they are very similar in texture, and the coral shade is very similar to secondary, which is that like orange shade from Lady Gaga. So I have both of them laying around somewhere. So what I'll do, I think, is just like put in a clip of a swipe on my hand so that you can see, but they are very similar texture. And so the Dior is 38 and the Haus Labs is 24. So that's pretty significant price difference. So if you've been curious about the Dior, but you really don't want to spend that right now, I would recommend giving the Haus a try. Now there's a much more limited color option within the Haus Labs PhD. Although I do have to say, I am liking the Dior lip oil. It would be a recommendation for me as well if one of the colors speaks to you more, or if you just really love that Dior experience and if you want more of the color options, because those are really beautiful as well. So again, thanks Aileen. Now, if you saw the video that I did, the try on and wear test of the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Foundation, you will know that I loved it more than I thought I was going to. It is what I have on today. I've still been milking that sample, y'all. It's really gone a long way. So I do think I'm gonna try to pick this one up. I wanted to get it in the friends and family sale and they were out of my shade, but right now it is in stock. Fingers crossed that once the sale starts, it's still there. I think I'm gonna have to like have my clicking fingers ready to go, but I do recommend this one. If you have, I would say, normal to dry skin. I do think that if you have an oily skin type, you better be ready for this to be very, very glowy, because I've powdered it quite a bit for the camera just because the lights, like everything would look like super shiny, but it does get quite glowy, especially by the end of the day. And I have normal skin. I think it's gonna be great as I go into the winter when I have like quite dry skin. Like my skin really does a flip-flop throughout the seasons. So I'm really looking forward to getting this one. I like it a lot more than I thought I would. If you like that light coverage, I would say it's light, like maybe up to medium, but I don't even really think it's a medium coverage. I do think it's like more in that like light coverage, but it's beautiful. It really has a beautiful finish on the skin. So it is one that I would definitely recommend and one that I'm gonna pick up. All right, another Haus Labs product that I had to put in here. You had to know if you watched my rebrand launch review video, you had to know I was gonna put this in here. And this is the Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer. Okay, this bronzer. This bronzer is so nice. This is the shade number 5. It's the more like slightly rosy undertone. I do also have the shade 6, which is a beautiful like neutral golden tone on me, but I just wanted this one for that more like, you know, in from the sun rosy flush. Okay, it feels creamy. It doesn't feel like wet, but it feels creamy when you first touch it in the pan, and almost like it does. It feels, I can't believe that I'm still getting tongue-tied over this one when I've had it for a while now, but it really feels almost like primer infused. I mean, as I'm looking at it on my hand here, it just gives like this soft blur. I don't know what the heck this thing is over here, but this is the bronzer right here. So it just gives this beautiful soft blur effect. You can really build it up on the skin. You can dust it on very lightly. It's just yummy. It is just so yummy. I like the new packaging. It feels very luxe. So you've heard me go on and on about this bronzer. If you've watched my channel before, you've heard me go on and on about it. So if you haven't picked it up yet, if you're in the market for a new bronzer and you like something that has that like almost cream to powder, but like more velvety feel, it's not a cream. It's not a cream. But it just feels, it feels like primer infused. It's so beautiful. I just can't get over it. I love this formula and it's 38 bucks. And if you can get a deal on it, now is the time. Okay, another item that I told you that I would get back to you on, and that is the Cinema Secrets, the like tropical lemon scent. I do really like it. I love Cinema Secrets. I just think that the fresher, lighter scent of the tropical lemon is great. And I think that, you know, that vanilla scent that is in the blue one is something that could be really off-putting for some people. I know that there are some people who have like a strong vanilla sensitivity. So I really like this one. It isn't quite as like bam in the face citrus as like Perry and Spirit is, if you've ever used that, which I love the smell of that, but it does have that like slightly oily feel to it. Whereas the Cinema Secret, it just dries so clean. So if you're looking for a makeup brush cleanser, you tried Cinema Secret, you just couldn't get down with the vanilla scent, I definitely recommend the other one. And of course, when I was talking about the little kit that I hauled in that video, I realized that there is a big size as well. So I'll have both linked down below for you if you want to check them out. But I do think I'm going to get the Big Daddy bottle this time in the sale because it's just a better price point. And once you know you like something, it's just usually better to get the bigger sizes if they won't expire before you use them. Okay, so 2 skincare items that I want to talk about, and I've talked about both on my channel here before. Let's just get this one out of the way. The Spectralite. I have had my Faceware Pro for, I think it's going on 2 years. It's at least a year at this point, but I think it's going on 2 years, and I really love it. I use it every single day, pretty much. I would say I use it 5 or 6 days a week, and I just can't live without it. I do find that it has helped reduce acne flare-ups. It just also seems to make my skin happier. I don't know how to say it. You know, anti-aging, like the benefits of the light from that, it would be hard to tell because it's not like I can see what my skin would have looked like if I haven't been using this, but I've been very happy with this, and I just notice a difference when I'm not using it. So this is one, especially because at full price, it's around $435. This is one that it's a great time to snag in the sale, and a lot of times Dr. Dennis Gross does have little kits that include the mask and then some freebies. So if I do find one of those, I'll link that down below. I love this. If you want to see more thoughts on it, I do have my review of it, so I will have that link down below as well. The other product that I want to talk about is the Pharmacy 10% Waterless Vitamin C Serum. So I got this probably in the last sale, I think, and I'm really enjoying it. Before that, the one that I would always recommend is the Paula's Choice C15 Super Booster. I do like that one as well. That one actually might even be more potent, but this one I just like the texture of. I like the texture of better, and it just doesn't like run through my fingers like the Paula's Choice does. So this is the one that I would recommend. I don't have a lot of skincare in this video because I just haven't been trying a lot of new things, especially like new as in new to the market, because I have a lot of skincare in my stash. I have a lot that I'm trying to use up right now, but this is one that I would definitely repurchase. I'm thinking about picking one of these up, but I do have a Paula's Choice one that I need to use up first. So I'm probably not going to. I need to not be buying the backups, especially with vitamin C, because they do expire. So I think I will wait. I'll keep it in my loves list and get one in the next sale. But if you haven't tried this yet, I definitely recommend it. It's $50 for 1 ounce, which is actually a pretty good price considering how little you need. I use this, again, 5 or 6 days a week, and it's lasted me a very long time. I really love the packaging on this. It's in an airtight pump, which means the oxidation level is much, much lower. And that means that the product stays fresher, and vitamin C will oxidize, and then it's ineffective. So then you're just wasting your money, and this one will help you not do that. A good portion of this video is going to be dedicated to fragrance. You had to know it. You had to know it if you watch my channel, because you know I do love a good fragrance moment. So let's talk about Ellis Brooklyn Après. You know that I love this fragrance. It to me is like perfect for this time of year through the winter. Oh, it's just so good. It is so good. It is like that walking through the woods, a snowy day, there's like someone that has a campfire going on like somewhere nearby, not even a campfire, like a, yeah. And I don't mean like campfire, again, it's not as smoky as like by the fireplace by Replica, but it's got a little bit of that like hot wood scent to it. You know, it's not the smoke, it's the hot wood. If you know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know. But it has that little bit of that boozy charm at the end too. I really like this one. I think that it is a very good unisex fragrance, but you definitely have to like something that's that like woody note if you are going to try this one out. But if this does sound good to you, right now they do have a set. So basically you buy the full size and then you get the travel spray for free. So that's like a $30 value right there. So I think that if this sounds like your jam, this would be a great way to go. You could also split them up, right? You could keep the big one for yourself, give one to a friend for the holidays, just give one to a friend that you think needs a new fragrance, you know what I'm saying? So I think that this is a great deal. You know that I have a few favorites from Ellis Brooklyn, but that is definitely the top one for this season. So another one that I've recently talked about, I'm not gonna go into this too much, but I'm so excited that Commodity is back at Sephora, so I definitely had to talk about Gold. This is the Gold Expressive. This is just that like rich, ambery, vanilla. It's so good. It's so good. This is like the most grown-up sexy vanilla without being like punch you in the face with a cupcake. You know what I'm saying, right? So this is a great one to try. I'm not gonna stay on that one too much because I've talked about it a lot recently, including in my video just recently where I broke down the scents in the new vanilla travel set from Sephora. So it's a Sephora favorite set that had 5 scents, little like, you know, travel tester sizes. And then there's a voucher inside that you can redeem for a full-size travel spray. So I went through all of the scents in there. So if you do want to see all my thoughts on that one, because this is a great time to pick up those little like scent samplers, I will have that one linked up here and linked down below for you. But the scent that totally drew me in was the scent Dulce from by Rosie Jane. I just happened to see that it was a new scent. I read the description of it. I had actually added it into my cart, and then I saw that it was in the favorite set. Now, the one that comes in the set is the perfume oil, so that's the one that I tried. It is the one that I'm gonna redeem my voucher for. I really like it. It has a little bit of finesse to it. But check out the video if you wanna see the other ones, because I do think there's a vanilla in there for everybody. So if you do like a vanilla, it's a fun way to get to try out a few new scents and get a discount on the travel spray that you already enjoy, or find one new, whatever you wanna do. So since we're talking about these fragrance sets, I do want to bring up a couple of the commodity ones. Now, they do have the exploration scent, which is all 18 of the scents that are in the scent spaces category right now. That's the one that Jeremy and I did our little like test run with. I'll have that one linked down below. It's a long video, but if you're curious, you can see that. So this I think would be a very fun like date night or group night with friends if you just want to like sit down and do like a fun fragrance night with other people. $42 to be able to try all of these, I think is great. Now for the $42, you get 18 little sample sizes. You can try them all. You can see maybe which scent space you like the most, which fragrance you like the most. I think it's a great way to really like get a feel for the brand. So that would be a fun one. But the two that I put on my recommendations list, not that I don't think that that would be a good one, but you have the Expressive Scent Space set. So obviously the price point there is lower, but what you get is you get the Expressive, which is like the middle range of all of the scents. So there's 6 scents in here, including Gold, and the Expressive is like, again, right in the middle. So it's not as soft as the Personal, but it's not as bold as the Bold. So this is a great like middle point. You can try a few of these out. If you're like, oh, I like this, but I wish it was like a little more, or oh, I like this, but it was a little bit softer, then you kind of know where to go from there. But I think that like the Expressive is where most people are going to want to live as far as like what they will like with their nose, I feel like. So that's a suggestion from me. Now, another one that's in here is the Discovery set. Now, this one has the book and paper scents in the Personal, so that's like the softer version. Then you have Gold and Milk in the Expressive, and then you have Velvet and Moss in the Bold. So you have some very light, whispery, like almost like not a fragrance fragrances. Then you have 2 that are like, the thing about that is both of them are fairly gourmand, I will say, but since it's Expressive, it's not like overly cloying. And then you have Velvet and Moss, which are definitely on that like more like fragrance side that are bold. So if you're someone that likes the entire gambit, this would be a fun one for you. If you find that you're either like a very soft or a very bold person, I don't think this is going to be the one for you because it is like a full range on the spectrum. All right, 2 little makeup sets that I wanted to talk about. So let's talk about this Charlotte Tilbury Mini Beauty Highlighter one set. It's $32, so you get Spotlight and Pinkgasm. And while these might be like little travel sizes, a little bit goes a long way with that product, I find. I've used the heck out of mine and I still have a decent bit in there. And at first when I got them, I'm like, is there any product in here? So a little does go a long way. I think that this would also be a good one if you want to split it up, put it into gifts. You know, if you have a beauty lover or a couple in your life that you're doing like little stocking stuffers for, this would be a fun way to go. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. The other one that I think would be good to either like keep for yourself or split it up is this year's Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Liquid Blush Set. Now this year, it's more in the like mauves and roses. So you get 1 full size and 2 travel sizes here. I love these blushes. A little goes a very long way. Like honestly, I probably would have preferred if it was like all 3 in minis for a lower price. But it's $30 at a $40 value. I think that, you know, again, you could keep the big size, you could gift out the other two in a stocking stuffer or something like that, or you could just keep all three and then you're gonna have enough blush for like the rest of your life because they are very pigmented. But I thought this was a fun little set this year, especially if you like a rosy or a mauve blush. That's it. Those are the things that I'm recommending for the sale this season. I don't feel like it was a lot, but I feel like I have really been looking at makeup with like okay, what about this is new? What about it is special? What about it is something that I don't have in my personal collection or something that stands out in my collection? So I hope you've enjoyed those. Now let's look at my wish list. It's not as big as it could be, but it's also a little bit bigger than I thought it was gonna be, which I think always happens. So right off the bat, I am very curious. I want to try the Kosas Revealer Concealer. I have never tried it. I hear so many great things, and so I've got it in here. I'm having a bit of a trouble trying to decide my shade, and I should have planned ahead and gone to Sephora and tried to get a good match, but I just haven't had the time. So I do have that one in here. All right, another little gift set actually that's on my list, it's sort of like in the maybe category, is this Tarte Maracuja Juicy Squad Lip Kit. So you get two, let me try to like pull this in here. You get two of the lip balms, the Juicy Lip Balms. Then you get one of the Maracuja Juicy Lipsticks, and then you get one of the lip plumpers. Pretty colors. I think it like runs the gambit. I did think that maybe I could get this, like keep one of the balms for myself and then like gift out some other lip things. You know, I do that Christmas gift ball. I thought that would be nice because it would be something that anybody could wear. I'm not sure yet. It's a maybe. I think that it's a great value. It's $39 and it has an $84 value. So it's a great value. It's just in the maybe list right now. So I talked about Dolce in the recommendations. I am of course going to get the perfume oil with my voucher, but I do think I'm going to pick up actually the full size fragrance because, you know, I was saying like a perfume oil is great. It does last a little longer on the skin, but you can't like spray it, you know, and sometimes I just like to have that like little waft on my clothes. So I'm thinking I can use the oil on my skin and then kind of like spray the scent over the top. It'll help the scent last longer because it has that perfume oil on, but I can also like have a little bit on a scarf or something if I want that. And the roller ball is 28 bucks, but the full size is only 70. So I'm like, I should probably just do the full size since I know that I like the fragrance. Obviously the EDP is maybe gonna smell a little different than the perfume oil, but I'm just gonna take the chance. So I do have that one on my list. Like I mentioned before, I have the Cinema Secrets on here, the Big Daddy. Okay. Okay, so I have wanted to try this scent from Commodity for a while. This is Commodity Whiskey. This, I'm pretty sure when the brand relaunched, it wasn't in the scents yet, and then they brought it back, and I just haven't gotten a chance to try it. I've heard really great things about it. Let me pull up the description here. I know that my friend Steven, they are really enjoying it. So it says, inspired by the American bourbon casks and rare Irish whiskeys, this timeless blend is filled with flavor. Layers of mahogany wood, American oak, and bourbon vanilla create a warm, spicy scent. This sounds so good. Now, you will see here, and I remember reading, and I don't understand why it's like that anymore, but it's basically W, and then it has like 4 asterisks, and then Y, but it is basically whiskey. That's what it is. I think at one point it actually said whiskey on it, and it doesn't anymore. I don't know if it's like a trademarking thing or what, but anyway, I'm really curious to try this. The only thing is that Sephora does not have it in a travel spray. They don't have it in a travel spray. They only have it in the Big Daddy, and I just don't know that I'm willing to commit that. So I know that Commodity usually does a sale around the holidays, and I could pick something up around then. I might wait because then I can just like get it on the brand site. We'll have to see. I have other fragrance in here, obviously. So unless I have a chance to get in and see if it's in store, I might not get it. You hear me? I'm like talking myself out of it, or I might just bite the bullet. So you'll have to wait until my haul video to see what I end up doing. All right, lovelies, that is it. That is my full recommendations and wish list. I hope you enjoyed this. I have a feeling that this video is going to go up after the sale has started, but I hate to say it, but I almost always do 2 orders. I almost always do one right away of the things that I know that I want to get, and then things that I don't want, I would be like sad to see go out of stock. And then I usually end up going back and being like, oh, maybe I'm gonna snag this. So I'll probably end up doing a second order. So there'll be time. Give me some suggestions. All right, lovelies, that's it. I will see you really soon.